Hey, Cychronic here. I'm providing backup footage for the gameplay this week. Wasn't sure if Marlon or D7 was going to record it, so I just did a recording just in case. It made it easier. So here we go. Veins like tapeworms. Beauty and rot. Rot in beauty. I guess we'll give it a spin. And before this title screen popped up, it mentioned that it was a visual novel. So, yeah. Sometimes those are okay. I don't usually go for straight visual novels, but I have played a few that I liked and played all the way through. Just not like primary. Okay. Let's do this. Chapter 1. Corpse Soup. January 7th. Life is a Sisyphean hellscape, and Damian's grip on their proverbial boulder is starting to slip. They weren't really sure when they reached their breaking point. They had to wager a guess, though. It was right around when they watched the cops cart the body out of room 103 last week. If it wasn't then, it was today, when the shithead manager Carl waited for the room to be released from investigation. When all the hubbub died down and Demian was 30 minutes away from clocking out, he pulled them aside and said they needed to clean the blood out of 103's tub. I'm not qualified to clean that, Demian told him. People aren't going to ask, Carl coaxed. Come on, we can't afford a specialist. It's literally a biohazard. Only if it gets inside you. Just be careful. Come on, Demian, please. Do us all a favor. Fuck you, Demian thinks. Yeah, fine, sure. Oh, check out those hands. Don't get them wrong, Demian is handling life decently enough. They already had their earth-shattering, world-ending breakdown last month. The results of that are still visible on Demian. They chopped off so much of the long, dark hair that Ma always had gushed about before bleaching and dyeing it as close to white as they could get it. The result looked like a toddler got a pair of scissors and a bottle of mustard. Luckily for Demian, it's had time to grow in and look a little bit less lopsided. Still, though, to call it sloppy hack job would be doing it a favor. Hey, there are perks to having short hair. For one thing, Demian doesn't have to put it in a bun to keep it from dripping into a bathtub full of blood and bleach. They're not sure why the Restful Night Hotel has such an allure for those with debts to pay and grudges to settle. Sure, being in the outskirts of Kingsfield Beach's seedier parts meant that the guests were going to be a bit more colorful than Damian would expect. This, though, this is really something else. It's fucked up what it is, Damian thinks to himself while yanking off a black rubber glove. Some average Tom who pissed off the wrong Dick tries to flee a motel and lay low. Dick finds Tom and kills him to get even, and now poor little Harry has to clean up the mess Tom and Dick left behind. Damian wouldn't mind being in Dick's spot. He'll even take being Tom. Oh, Jesus. They clap a hand over their nose, the good hand, the one that hasn't been wrist deep in bodily fluids, and hold back the gag. The odor permeating through the air is so thick in Damian's nose, it's almost too sweet, but the foul stench of rust is definitely there, just as an undertone. Demian grits their teeth, squeezes their eyes shut. A few heavy breaths through the mouth will get them through the next few minutes, hopefully. This one little thing is all they need to do before they're off work today. Then they can lie down in bed and do the best to forget about it. You can do this, Zhao. Don't lose your shit. Clocking out in sight. Demian sucks in a breath, takes their hand off their mouth, and gets to scrubbing the chipped ceramic. They finally at the point where the blood is coming off, instead of smearing around like dragging a slimy paintbrush on the canvas. Soon enough, it'll all collect at the bottom of the tub, and they can send it swirling down the drain. This is intense. This game is intense. It's dialogue. You're all done? Margaret smiles at Demian. I can feel the nasty sneer behind that grin, even though the niceties Margaret presents herself with. Like you would care. Demian tightens their jaw and hisses a response through the teeth. Finally, they say. It'd be nice to tell Carl's daughter they can see right through her whole sickly sweet shtick, but Demian can't risk losing their job. Maybe some other day. Like if Demian won the lottery or killed someone. Are you okay? Seeing that would take a toll on anyone. Margaret sighs and looks up at the midnight sky. Thick gray clouds roll in further by the second. It's going to rain or snow soon, and Demian isn't sure which. Fine. Demian relaxes their grip on the cleaning cart's gaudy yellow handle. Nothing I can't deal with. Anyway, I'll get over it. Probably. Alright, yeah, sure. Margaret breaks eye contact. Demian studies the sky. There are long black streaks in the clouds. Yeah, it's going to snow soon. Stilted silence seems to drag on for hours. No doubt Margaret can tell she's not fooling Demian. She's the first to stop the torment. Well, I gotta get going. I'm gonna miss the bus. Yeah, I'm going to. Their stomach is rumbling so damn loud. As soon as they can, they're going into the city to stock up on some food. Their payment is going to be coming in a few days, so Demian can afford to get a little extra. Rent is pretty much costing an arm and a leg, so any moment where they aren't dipping into their paltry savings is a moment well enjoyed. Hey, welcome to the Quick Stop Shop. I'll be out in a second. Don't get excited, Webster. It's just me, is Damian's flat response. There's a new lilt in her tone that wasn't there beforehand. Oh, Demian, hi, how's it going? It's going, I guess. They advance into the store. The lights hanging above Demian and Miriam's heads wash everything in a cold tinge. Colorful, fatty snacks line the shelves to Damian's left. The stench of seafood is especially strong today. Demian swallows the bile raising in the back of their throat. Fresh fish smells like the ocean, and cucumbers is a lie that they've never bought into. Fresh fish, in fact, smells like a swamp on a hot summer day out of sheer hatred, and today that hatred is seeping into every corner of the store. Whoa, that's some intense dialogue, man. Trying to keep their voice steady, Demian asks, "Did the fish guy come in early or something?" Miriam pauses, her brows undoubtedly furrowed, the way it always is when she needs to think. I think so. I just clocked in for the night shift. You'll have to ask Luna tomorrow. She was at the store when we got our deliveries. Oh, a high-pitched mewling punches through the muffled pop music, ringing in Damien's ears. They perk up and look around the store. It only takes a few seconds for them to find the culprit. A large cat with orange fur speckled in white spots is curled up tight in a cardboard box. A towel lines the interior. He looks comfortable with his eyes shut and tail twitching upward. Demian smiles softly and kneels down to pat the top of his head. I guess this guy's happy about it, though. It's only now that Miriam pokes her head out of the aisle she's been so entrapped with. Thick, mousy hair is tied up into a tight braid, her glasses shining under the store lights. Yeah, he's been chatting up a storm since I clocked in. That's a good sign. Means he's warming up to you guys. They say without looking away from the cat. Don't know if I ever told you this, but I used to have a cat too, just like this one here. Really? She didn't know how to meow, so she kind of just screamed, but I thought it was funny. Named her Tabby, short for Tabisca. Like the hot sauce. Yeah. I don't even like this stuff. It just tastes like shit to me. Demian looks over their shoulder and locks gazes with Miriam. But Tabasca works as a cat name, so Tabby it is. Ah, that's so cute. Luna calls him a flip-flop, but I think he's more of a juice to me. The response is non-committal. Oh, by the way, how's work? They already regret striking up a conversation. Tired eyes stay focused on instant meals, TV dinners, and cheap noodles churn the stomach, but it's all Demian can afford. I don't think you want to know the answer. I cleaned a guy's blood out of a tub. It's okay. Never a dull day there, I guess. Unrelated, but I think I'm gonna pick up a Lucy today, maybe two. Not bad, huh? Demian only smokes after a particularly stressful shift. A middle-aged woman named Emily takes a few seconds to lecture Demian on how to shop. Really shouldn't be selling them loose cigarettes, so they'd better watch who they tell. Demian bites their tongue to stop themselves from telling Emily to can it and give the Lucy already. The snow started. There's already a light dusting on the sidewalk, and fat snowflakes drift to the ground. Demian pulls the shoulder of their jacket up further to the neck. We'll probably get something better soon. The zipper on this thing's already busted, so it just hangs off their lanky frame. Hopefully by the next week they'll be able to buy a new one. Demian put in extra overtime specifically for the jacket funds. The motel's barely making it as it is. Whose fault is that? Oh. So I hope you understand I might not be able to give you your overtime pay this week. I'll be there the next time, I promise. I hope you drown in your own piss. Sure, I can wait. There go the jacket funds. Well, I won't hold you up for long. It's cold out, and I know you want to rest. You don't seem to have been sleeping well lately. Wow, I wonder why. Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow. See you. So many feelings. So many feelings and hidden thoughts, passive aggressive thoughts. Demian Zhao, 22 years old, is on a fast track to waste their entire life away. And instead of trying to fix it, they're bawling over their own fate like some helpless baby. Damien's pretty sure they would have been crying in the snow for a good 15 minutes if the sound of puking didn't snap them out of it. They scramble to their feet quickly, scrubbing their face of any tear stains and sniffling the snot back in. The gurgling is faint on the ears, but there's no way to ignore it. They don't approach out of the goodness of their heart. If someone's spewing their guts in the building's vicinity, Damien's the one who has to clean it. It's just easier to scrub off fresh vomit instead of leaving it overnight. Rounding a corner, they come face to face with a woman doubled over and barfing into the building's dumpster. "Hey," they say, voice steady but unsure. "Hey, you good?" She's puking a lot. Demian tries to get her attention again. "Dude, hey, dude." The barfing ceases, hopefully permanently, they think, and the woman snaps her head up. Wide eyes behind crooked glasses peer right at them. Thick hair sticks to her face. Even in the dead of winter, she's sweating. It's so bad that the shimmer of neon sign hanging above the hotel is reflected on her temple. The look in her eyes is indescribable. It's not the kind of look any human would reasonably give to someone. Instincts kick in. This woman looks like she's barely pushing up past 5 feet. Her legs dangle a good length off the ground. They can't get a decent gauge of her build underneath the oversized sweater, but Demian thinks they could take her on in self-defense if needed. They were definitely underweight themselves, but they're more than 6 feet. They could just give her a jab in the back of the neck and run, right? She's silent, very silent. Demian can't even hear her breathing. She's going through the motions. Her shoulders and chest rise and fall as expected, but the sound of her gasps fall just short of Damian's ears. They take a step back. Why did their hands become so clammy? A thrashing heartbeat brings pain to Damian's chest. Her gaze feels wrong. That's the only way Demian can describe it. Wrong. As if she's looking past them, past their skin, into their bones. "Please don't look for me." Demian snaps out of their unsettled stupor. "Huh? I don't want it anymore. Please." Her voice is hoarse and low. Don't bring it back. I just want to rest." Demian would be lying if they implied they understood what the fuck she was on about. "Are you drunk?" She doesn't respond. Before Demian can stop her, she drops to the ground and takes off running, stumbling more like it. Yeah, definitely drunk. She didn't lunge at Demian or make any threats, but their unease doesn't lighten. Something's wrong. Demian looks toward the dumpster. Murmuring drifts up from the cold metal. The more Demian strains their ears, the clearer it becomes in their mind, as if a voice was cooing directly into the folds of their brain with a warm embrace made to lure. Whatever's in there, it's not just the results of a drunkard emptying her stomach. "I can sense your pain, your anguish. I feel the whispers of a broken heart clinging to life. Your strength sapped away by those who have wronged you. But I can repair you. I can gift you the strength of a god. Together, we can lash out against those who have hurt you in kind. And all you have to do is let me in." Look inwards. It sounds beautiful. Just one little peek couldn't hurt, right? Demian stands on their tiptoes and leans in. They'll only take one look and back away if it's dangerous. A look doesn't hurt. A look can't ruin their life. word could, but not a look. Lying on top of the trash is a thick coating of dark slime. It has a strange tint to it. The best comparison Demian had was like the color of the needles on evergreen trees. There's none of the luster that the leaves flaunted. If anything, this thing seemed to defy the laws of physics. Any and all light that would illuminate its mass simply seemed to vanish before it could hit the shivering ooze. Holy shit. It's breathing. Tendrils of its slime inch forward before pulling back. It brings Demian back to the days when they were little and watching the waves on the beach. It's like a little piece of the ocean, corrupted and plopped down in the slums of this wretched city. Echoed promises fill the vapid little head. Its voice is heavenly, mesmerizing even. It pulsates, resonating with their very core, as if it wants to be part of them. No, not that it wants to be. It is a part of them. It's part of Demian. It's been separated from them since the day they were born. All that's happening now is an inevitable reunion. Yes, that's right. That's why they've always felt so empty and incomplete, because they were never whole. But they will be now. Lured closer and closer toward it, Demian can't even help himself. Reaching out, bony fingers brush against the creature to feel the purring of its heartbeat against Damian's fingertips. Oh. Uh-oh. It clamps on tight. Oh, shit. Bad choice, Zhao. The trance is shattered. What the fuck were they thinking? This thing isn't part of them. It didn't whisper about the powers of God and whatever it was so awful it made the girl sick. That couldn't have been their own idea. Damian's smarter than that. It's already too late to rectify the error. They yank their hand out of the dumpster. The force of which they pull back sends Demian tumbling onto the ground. The fluffy snow does nothing to break their fall. The creature is latched onto their hand now, sent from its metal prison into the world. Demian tries to fling it off and then pry away from their hands. Nothing helps. It only gets worse. Sprung into motion, the monster crawls up their skin. It doesn't stop, it doesn't slow down, it doesn't even hesitate. Get off, and away from me. There's a voice in Damian's head that's not their own. Bloom. Need to bloom. Bloom and set free. It won't stop. Nothing Demian can do can make it stop. It's upon their throat in the blink of an eye. Unpleasant sensations sink through the panic that dulls Damian's pain. Prickling skin is what alerts them to the tightness around the thin neck. The windpipe squeezes shut. It's as if Damian's a mere observer in their own body. Demian tries to gasp for air. The mouth is forced open by the creature. Throat and nostrils are filled with the squirming maggots, melted and swirled together into a barely conscious mucus, invading, swarming, sprouting. Eyes wide, screaming silence, roots under the skin, wrapping around the bones. Muscle fusing with the tendrils, heartbeats thumping, vision fading, thoughts slurring and dimming. Become one with me. Chapter 2, God in the Gutter. Ever since they were little, Demian has always dreamt in red. Red is a beautiful, meaning-filled color. It is loud, angry even, but it is unapologetic and passionate. It is the color of blood and hate, but also the color of love and desire. When they were growing up, there wasn't too much love to go around. They dream of their family, always screaming at one another, or at a small child who couldn't fight back. In these dreams, they are never called Demian. A name that hasn't been used in years is what rolls off the tongue. Pa's anger drips red from his teeth like venom from a snake's fangs as he yells in that booming voice of his. Ma's knife is splashed with red. One day when the screeching reaches a crescendo and Pa puts his hands on her throat, and of course their tongues would be stained with hatred when the ire turns toward the soul of the child in the family. As a child, Demian couldn't explain why they hated being in their own skin. When they dream of their face, they see the reflection of a kid who wanted to go to the beach so badly but couldn't stand the idea of their swimsuit. A child who wanted to bite all their skin off in the hopes that they were just a cocoon that housed their real self. But this isn't a shell, and there's no gorgeous butterfly waiting to emerge. Desires, in a language they don't understand, buzz and itch under their awful face. When the bitter sobs bruise their ribs, the tears are red. It's intense. And now they dream of blood filling their lungs and spilling through their lips. Wait. No. It's not blood, and their body isn't trying to expel it. It's an infection. And in the dream, their body welcomes it. Their mind screams to purge it, but the sack of meat and bones doesn't listen. Every fiber of them is warped and distorted, overwhelmed by the parasite as it settles deep into their chest. They try to cry out, but their voice is no longer their own. From the look in their eye to the twitch on their fingers, this monster bleeds every drop of Demian's soul out and settles comfortably inside the shell. They dream of their flesh becoming nothing more than fertilizer for invasive weeds, with scarlet flowers unfurling toxic petals around their skin. An eyeball that's used to belong to them bursts, and Demian awakens with a start. This game is intense. Very introspective thoughts. It's very atmospheric, though. You know, that's one thing I'll say for it. Like, I really feel this atmosphere. The way that the story is told is, like, weird to me in a lot of ways, but it's sometimes weird is good. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to find out what happens next, but this is, like, definitely not my normal type of game that I would play, like, just shooting from the hip. I'm gonna save it. It's incredibly late at night or early in the morning, depending on their perspective. Demian sits up slowly. Feels like there's razor blades in their skull, sliding around and slicing up bits and pieces of their brain. Struggling to lift an arm, Demian drags a hand down their face. Sleep doesn't come easy to Demian these days. Well, it never has been easy, but they've graduated to full-on insomniac in the past year or so. They're lucky to get a few hours of sleep anyway, of course. Demian knows full well that this is partially their own fault. If they actually worked a normal schedule and start taking every slot available to get out of the shithole and stop scrolling through their phone for hours at a night, who knows? Maybe the bags under their eyes wouldn't be so dark. Bleary eyes glare at the alarm clock on the nightstand. The display reads 4:33 a.m. in bright red. Oh, that's just great. Like, it's not even already hard enough to sleep. A rat skitters across the carpet. Ugly bastard, too, with a scar across his left eye. Demian makes no motion to get rid of him. They sure don't feel like they slept for 3 hours straight. Demian flops down on the pillow and stares directly up. Their entire stay here, Demian has never been able to figure out how the hell someone got coffee stains on the popcorn ceiling. They probably flew their coffee cup up like in anger. Like, and was holding the cup, but then the coffee flew upwards. That's probably how. Just my thoughts. How did they get to bed anyway? As Demian remembers, they've been grabbing some cheese curls in the vending machine outside when... Oh, fuck. Demian throws the sheets off their legs and sprints to the bathroom. Something is wrong. Something is inside them. And they need to get it out somehow. How? They don't know. God. Frantic thoughts pour through their mind again and again. Why did they do this to themselves? God, dumbass. Just couldn't resist the noises of that alien vomit slime creature, huh? Eyes burning in the sudden light, Demian looks over themselves countless times. There's nothing wrong with their limbs physically. No twisted, gnarled claws to replace their nails. No thorns bustling from their skin. The only difference Demian can see is their left hand. The abrasion is completely healed over. There isn't even a scar where the cut should be. Everything looks fine. Not a single monstrous distortion of their body. A twinge of regret prods over their chest, and as Demian figures it's a good idea to push aside the implication of that for now. There's just one last thing. Peeling the tape from the edges of the trash bag. Demian steels their nerves. There's going to be nothing wrong with them. Their face will be unchanged, fortunately or unfortunately. Just one little peek is all they need to reassure themselves. They're a grown-ass guy that can look at their reflection without getting dysphoric. So they are a guy. Okay. Shaking hands to uncover the mirror. Yeah. They're fine. Their face looks the same as it always has. They don't like it, but it's there. With any luck, they think while letting go of the tart, last night was just a feverish byproduct of an exhausted mind. For better or worse, Demian is completely unchanged. But you have changed in ways you cannot see. That's Demian's own voice. They whirl around to face the mirror again. The trash bag is no longer a protective shield against the uncomfortable image, instead a curtain to yank away and reveal something much stranger. The reflection lulls its head to the right. A dull smile curls its lips. There you are, it says in Damian's own voice. I can't do much right now while you sleep, you know. Demian blinks. They blink again. One more time, rub their eyes, and one final blink just to be sure. The response is simple. Who are you? Demian thinks they already know the answer. Its smile widens real slow at the question Demian doesn't mimic. I am the one who called you into the snowstorm, it says, resting its chin on its hand. We are bound together in body and mind. They should be afraid, maybe disgusted, unnerved even. To Damian's surprise, there's a twisted sense of glee within the center of the chest. What's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong, it says, both their mind and their ears. You understand on a deeper meaning that there is nothing to fear. They stop in their tracks. Can you hear what I think? Of course I can. Did you think I was kidding when I said we were bound together? The fear that should curl in the pit of their stomach never even wriggles. Instead, the intrigue tightens its hold. 1,000 things Damian say worm through their head. Eventually, they settle on one. What is a blooming? What is this blooming thing? They brought up blooming when they bonded in the snow. Demian figures they might as well know what it is before they get too far in. More importantly, the question of, is blooming going to kill me, needs an answer. Then again, it could always lie. Demian wouldn't know either way. When I am fully rebuilt, I can reach for the gifts of a god, and then I can bloom. Demian scrunches their face. That doesn't sound like a good sign. It laughs and leans in. I know what you're thinking. The answer is no, it will not kill you. Blooming is a wonderful feeling. In fact, if you could reach out and touch the heavens for eternity, the bliss you would feel would be nothing compared to when I bloom. Is it going to harm me in any way? Are you going to use my body as a fucking plant food or something? I feel like I should be more scared. This is some cult shit here. I can totally get sucked into a cult. Blooming is like the equivalent of waiting for the apocalypse to smite the non-believers, isn't it? Don't be so skeptical, friend. I have no intention of hurting you in any way. After all, our pain is shared now. Your agony is mine, and my suffering is yours. I can only bloom with a living and conscious host at the peak of their physical condition. Yeah, cult shit. Cool sounding cult shit, though. This statement nestles itself comfortably in the front of Damian's mind. So, to bloom, you need me? Yes, I do. Demian tilts their head back and asks the burning question. So, I'm in control here? So I'm in control here? Damian grasps some modicum of confidence. That's what you're saying? What gives you that idea? For once, it seems the reflection has caught off its guard. It's a blink and you miss it moment. In the next breath, it paints its carefree ruse back on its face. Admittingly, they almost blinked. Thank God they didn't, though. It's about time Demian gets to peruse each little twitch the other makes anyway. Of course. If it soothes your heart, we can both agree to that notion. I just want to know your thought process, it says. Demian looks up at the cobweb ceiling, perking at the corner of their lip upward. Think about it. Like you said, you literally need me. Me. I can live without you. If I stuck my fingers down my throat and pulled you up right at this moment, I could shake you off this night as a fever dream and go on living like I had been. They laugh dryly and go on. But well, you'd be shit out of luck. You could strike gold again, find someone else like me next time, or rebuild just fine. Or your next 50-something tries could be like Dumpster Girl over there. It's not smiling anymore. Yes, you're right. When you put it that way, you are the one who calls the shots, so to speak. Damn right I am. By comparison, Damian's grin is huge. They look like someone told the Cheshire Cat he can have all the wet food he wants and an extra treat after dinner. You want to rent a space in this meat sock? You play by my rules, or you can try your luck with someone else. You got me? Fine, okay. If it brings you comfort, then we will go that way. I'll let you stick around until you're able to bloom. You hear that? I'm letting you stay. I could evict you whenever, but I'm not going to let it come before my own health, alright? You're not hurting me, I'm not hurting you. That's how we're going to play it. Very well. Clearly it has more to say, but it doesn't. Demian can feel an inkling of thought forming in its mind, but they can't decipher what it means. Probably just throwing a fit. It can't run roughshod and use them for nutrients or something. It's getting awkward referring to this parasite as just Demian's reflection. Bond or not, it's still a living thing with an identity of its own. Calling it their reflection sounds weird too. Demian can kind of glean. They only perceive it as their mirror image because that's the easiest for their brain to wrap around. Something like that, anyway. Hey, Demian asks, do you have a name? I used to. Over my eons of oblivion, though, it has eroded from me. Oh. They look away. Do you want me to give you one? Or you don't have to say yes or no. Or make it your whole identity if you don't want to. Could just be like a nickname or something. Whatever makes you the most comfortable. How about Slice? With a Y. You know, to be cool. Wait, no, that's edgy. I'm supposed to be out of my edgy phase in junior high school. It flows well, Slice says. I like it. You sure? Yes. Alright, Slice it is. Then I hope we will get along well, you and I. Sharing a body with an alien parasite can wait right now. They've got more pressing matters on their hands. They pick up the phone and do their best to sound like they haven't been up for half an hour already. Zhao speaking. Hey Damian, it's Margaret. Dude, it's 5 in the morning. I work second and third shifts. I know, but our morning housekeeper Isaac just called out and we don't have anyone else to fill his slot. Tell Isaac to go stuff it and get his ass in here. Come on, Maggie, please, I'm exhausted. Look at my schedule. I'm supposed to be on second with overtime. Damian's taking this Slice thing awfully well, if they do say so themselves. They've gotten pretty decent at packing away trauma in their brain to sort through later. It reminds them of shoving their summer wardrobe into a neat little box to get enough space for winter gear. Problem is, this kind of goes beyond trauma and into life-threatening events that anyone would panic over. Not really something they can stuff into the mental closet to deal with on a better day. And hey, maybe this is their imagining Slice up. At any point they can wake up severely ill next to the motel's dumpster, covered in snow and 2 seconds away from death because they ate alien goo and it's liquefying their intestines in real time. That's also a possibility. Look, Damian, you know I never want to do this to you, but we really, really need someone to fill in and clean up before, you know what? I can talk with Dad, okay? We can probably get Samuel or someone to take your other shift today. We just really need you on this. Also, Samuel could take another shift, but you need me for this one. I see what you're doing. Yeah, sure. Oh my God, thank you so much. I'll talk to Dad right now, okay? Alright. Someone kill me already. It whispers to Damian's mind again. Could never harm you. Safe with me. Safe with me. Don't worry, it's just a thought, I guess. Besides, I kind of want to see what's so good about blooming. It'll take a while to get used to having two voices in their head. This is where a horror movie, Damian thinks they'd be the first to die. Yeah, they'd be the token minority who thinks this is a cute rom-com cottage in the forest getaway. They blissfully skip their way down the creaky stairs and into the cluttered basement without so much as a flashlight. And oh, oops, there it goes in their head. Chain sawed off by the slasher before Damian can make it down the last step. They're not final girl material. They're too stupid for that slot. Demian isn't even a girl. Ain't that just the piss in their cornflakes? Yeah, so Damian's a guy. Like, kind of a feminine male. And, like, maybe that's why Demian goes by they, or... And also the asexuality, meaning, like, no preference, meaning, like, not attracted to, like, male or female. So it seems like that's the case, like male sex with asexual characteristics, sort of androgynous, and that's probably why it's like a they. But this ain't a nice spring break. There's no splinter-filled cabin in the heart of the woods. No serial killer that wasn't hugged enough as a kid, so now he skins people for fun. And this isn't a horror movie, this is real life. Demian has to clock in at 7 a.m., running off 3 hours of sleep, and pretend they don't have to vomit alien goo wrapped around their ribs. Ain't that just fantastic? Morning, Sam. Margaret. Hey, can we talk a second? Sure. What's the matter? What's up with Demian? They've been acting kind of off for a few days now. What do you mean? It's hard to explain. They keep spacing in and out and talking to themselves. It's been happening all week now. He was having a conversation with them on break yesterday, and they just stopped right in the middle of their sentence. I thought Demian lost their train of thought, but it was like they were totally gone. Lights are on, but no one's home, that kind of thing. Everything was fine after a few seconds, but I don't know. It's not right. I'm not really the person to go for things like this, Samuel. That sounds more like a personal issue than anything else. I mean, they haven't really made any threats to you or slipped up on their work, right? No, but look, I know you mean well, but in my perspective, this just sounds like gossip. Have you even talked to Demian about it first before coming to me? You'd get it if you saw them. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't feel comfortable talking about Demian behind their back if they're just, spacing out. Maybe they just have a lot on their mind right now. Damian's been working a lot. Someone has to pick up Isaac's shifts. He called out last week to cram for his finals. Sure, fine. I get it. Okay. Well, my initial thoughts on that are that it's kind of a weird game. I'm strangely interested in it, but it's like there's a lot about it that just hits my brain in a weird way. I don't know any other word to describe it than weird, but I wonder if this is based on somebody's life story or something, or an exaggerated version of it that isn't really a real parasite, but maybe it's multiple personalities and one of the personalities is slowly taking over or something. This could be based on someone's life. So I don't know. It seems like it might be geared for... No, I don't want to say it. Okay. Anyway, this is Cychronic signing off. Gameplay for the week complete. Goodbye.